Joffrey, Renly, Robb Stark are all thieves. They'll bend the knee or I'll destroy them.
The bastard thought he had won. He fought by dismissing him from the council. He had stripped him of his power. Benfrey had fought by dismissing Daenys from the council that he had seen the last of him, but that could not have been further from the truth. In fact, this had been a valuable opportunity to consolidate his power and put new plans in place. He had filled his domain, which now encompassed most of the Vale, with lords who were either loyal to him or those who were too scared or stupid to oppose him. Lord Shycross and Waynwood had both experienced personally what happened to lords who stood against him. Other lords had fallen in line with promises of appointments to his council or other favours. Any lord who rebelled or got any ideas of plotting against him would have their loyalty forced, or perhaps their heirs would learn from their mistakes. Even tucked away at his seat in the Vale, his power in the capital had not diminished. The fool Benfrey believed the new council would follow him and be free from the corruption of the old. Septon Wayne had been in his pocket ever since he allocated extra funds towards the Sept during his time as Master of Coin. Lord Risewell and Sir Edmund Bloom simply required some friendly letters before they realised that their interests were aligned with his. Some letters with fabricated false truths were all that was needed to turn the proud Lord Lancer against the bastard who shared his name. Only the Maester and Lord Grafton stayed loyal and supported the move against Daenys conquering Eastwold. Although it had taken longer than anticipated, he had finally been able to get away with his attempt to vassalize House Hunter and move one step closer to his ultimate goal. There had been many setbacks, but he had finally found the right time to strike. Daenys had always understood people, what pleased them, what caused them to act, and how to gain their loyalty and trust. These skills helped find him allies in his plans towards domination of the Vale. These allies included the discontent Lord Ironmark from Great Wick, the Lady Redwolf of Seaguard who had claims for all of Andalia, and finally Lord Hugh of Runestone, who had marriage ties to the young king's sister, but also Daenys' own daughter. King Lister would soon come to rule in his own right, but he would not find a stable realm. He and the bastard who ruled in his stead would come to regret ever crossing Lord Daenys, the wise Corbury. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Grand Northern Kingdom of Andalia, where at the end of the last episode we were called upon by Belvazar, the brilliant Bolton, the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, to help him repel the wildling invasion. So we called our banners in Old Andalia, which is basically everywhere north of Sevenstar. And yeah, we're getting those ready to march north. But then after that, if you remember, Lord Daenys Corbury decided to declare war upon the Hunters, and we took a vote on the council to command him to stop that war, and unfortunately the council decided to vote against, which is very annoying considering we purged the council to prevent such things from happening. But Daenys has still got his way, which is, yeah, very annoying. So here we are, we're calling up our men in Sevensport. We should have a decent amount called up. I think we've called up around half of our army. Most of our army does come from this northern area. So let's unpause and start getting our men ready. The Starks have also joined in on the side of the Night's Watch, and the Starks can call up still more men than I thought they could. We're winning by 2% already. Yeah, just the Starks and Andalia have joined in at present then, which is interesting. The Night's Watch has a few thousand men themselves as well, which they're going to be able to use. Belvazar here is marching straight onto that army. As we can see, have 1,000 men up there beyond the wall. We're still gathering our forces. We have 13,000 here in Sevensport. Let's merge those together. Still waiting for the rest. We've got... No, we haven't got any men on those ships. So we've got 15,000 here. Merge together. Embark that army. Let's sail those up to Greyhold for now. We won't call up any more men for now. We'll see if we need any more men first. Sir Edmund Bloom has been a leal and able servant, having successfully completed many tasks in aid of Andalia. It will be seen as the right and honourable course to reward him with certain incomes and grants, so to foster greater loyalty. Agreed. I shall arrange this reward. 15 gold. It's not a lot really, is it, considering how much gold we actually have. So yeah, we can do that. Why not? So the Rack army has made its way up to the Greystark army, which is quite small, unfortunately. At age 64, our subject Alla Brightmere has died of depression, which is a shame. I wonder how much manpower the Starks have. So the new queen in the north is leading her men herself, which is interesting. She's a trained fighter, which is very nice. Cool. With 23 diplomacy. Wow. Charismatic negotiator. She has got incredible negotiating power. And, oh, wow, Belvazar Bolton looks like he's about to lose that battle and be put... Yes, he is. The wildlings have pushed back the knight. Oh, no. They're pulling it back. They're pulling it back. Belvazar has managed to win that. Well played, Belvazar. Whoa. But now he's getting attacked by a 1,000-man wildling army. I'm guessing he's going to repel that as well. Yes, he has. Awesome. Well played, Belvazar, proving that he really is the son of Lord Theon, the Hammer of Eastwatch. And yeah, he's repelled that, and it looks like he's trying to retreat after that. But there is another wildling army making its way down to him. We know the wildlings have around 100,000 men, which is terrifying. We have 26,000 here. Our men are obviously much better. Who have we got leading this army? Darnold Crownless, Benjicott Sevenstar, and Kristen Creed. I think, where is Benfrey Lancer? Surely Benfrey Lancer is one of our commanders. I'd feel much better. He's our Master at Arms, so he is currently busy, isn't he? That's why. That's fine. We've got decent commanders here still. We've got 26,000 men. Darnold Crownless, I trust him to be able to lead this army. The other guys who are with him aren't bad either, so let's... Oh, should we send Pierce Snow into 26th Marshal? Unyielding, aggressive. Yes, I'm going to send Pierce Snow leading that flank. Why not? Let's march up to the North Road for now, and then we'll assess. We can now get married as well, which is interesting, but we won't look for a bride until we do finally come of age. How is this war here going between the Corburies and the Hunters? I think the Corburies are going to win that pretty convincingly, aren't they? Which is annoying, meaning Danes is going to get yet even more power. And, oh my god, 56,000 wildlings there, marching south to meet with that Night's Watch army. I don't think that's going to end too well, is it? And there's another 18,000 over here. Does he still have about 100,000 men? 80,000 men now. He's probably losing a lot. I suppose Belvazar has just crushed a lot. It's probably going to end in a whimper for him. Once the forces of the Starks and Andalians get up north, they're going to be able to push back the wildlings, I would imagine, just like last time. It's a bit of a lost cause, isn't it, from the wildlings? They're not going to be able to compete against the men of Andalia. Benfrey, our regent, is 48 now, nearly 50. He's going to get that adult picture soon, which is worrying. And at age 36, some random northerner died. I don't know why the game is telling us this, to be honest. No idea why we even need to know that. I think 26,000 men will probably be enough. We are suffering from attrition. We can always call up a few more thousand from the Vale, if need be. Belvazar's leading this army here, then, in Castle Black. I love how much Belvazar looks like a 7-star. You can tell his mother was a 7-star. He looks more 7-star than the actual 7-stars at present. And he's got food poisoning. How the hell did you get food poisoning fighting beyond the wall? What the hell have you eaten? And, wow, yeah, the wildling host is marching straight up to Castle Black. 22,000 men strong, another 8,000, another 22,000. Marching down, we're going to get our men. Oh, and then another 22,000 there. Lord Galbert of Sea Dragon Point decided to release someone Greenskin, okay, from his prison. Doesn't really concern us, does it? And my god, it's lagging so much. The save file is so big that it just lags like mad. Let's march on to Castle Black. Let's go and fight this wildling host that is about to land there. Why not? At age 3, your acquaintance, Waylon Congrove, died of grayscale. Doesn't really concern us, does it? And wow, 10,000 are going to the Shadow Tower. 11,000 to Castle Black, so they're splitting their army. Our 26,000 are going to march straight up here, though. 37,000, including the Stark army. So, yeah, we're going to put a quick end to this, really, aren't we? And Princess Rennie can now marry Eldrick Bloom. And wow, she has also got the looks of Lyanna Sevenstar. She's got the blue 7-star eyes, not unlike the brown. So she's got the blue eyes back. With the red hair, she looks very, very much like Lyanna. Very much like Lyanna. But yes, we will send that. That gets us the Belmore's loyalty, continued loyalty. It's going to be interesting to see. I think Lister is the next one to come of age, isn't he? Yes, he is. It's going to be interesting to see what his adult picture is going to look like. Is he going to have the red hair of his mother as well? That seems to be inherited a lot. Lord Galbert. Oh, the Warg King has finally died. He died of cancer at the age of 61. That is killing literally everyone at present. And yeah, we're smashing this wildling host. But there are 22,000 reinforcements on their way. May you live in harmony and contentment. I accept your suggestion that Princess Rennie and Eldrick get married. Perfect. And yeah, we've absolutely crushed that army without suffering much casualties at all. But there are 22,000 more wildling men marching south. An envoy has arrived in Sevensport bearing word from Lady Elena Belmore. She says the betrothal between Eldrick Belmore and my sister Rennie Sevenstar can no longer proceed due to the refusal of Eldrick to participate. This is a grave slight against my house. And why does he... Oh, he's just refusing marriage. Okay, well, there is Robert Belmore. Oh, and he's already betrothed to an Irontide. What? What? And Ossifer Belmore. Well, yeah, this is a grave slight against our house. So now we need to find a new match for our sister. Battle of the Nightfall, a great victory for the Andalian host. And here come the wildlings now marching onto us again. It's going to be another victory, isn't it? All 25,000 and 14,000. This might be a little bit more of a closer affair. No, we're still absolutely slaughtering that wildling host with our epic commanders. Donald Crownless is a beast, as we know. It'd be nice for him to finally get a nickname. I don't know how a character like him hasn't yet picked up a nickname. Reports from Sevensport that our charity work is going well, which is nice. Battle of the Nightfall, yeah, another great victory for our forces, only losing 640 men. The Knights of Andalia are too strong for the wildling host, way too strong. The Stark host is at Eastwatch defending. We're going to slaughter these other 13,000. We're literally losing no men. The wildling host is so weak compared to our army. We have got some amazing commanders there, though, haven't we? Which, of course, is going to play in our hand. But yeah, we need to now find a new match for Princess Rennie. Liege Sir Ambrose. Is she no longer in our court? That's annoying if she's not. Arrange a marriage between her. No, we now have to marry her to someone in our actual court. We could marry her to Sir Enger Sevenstar, her cousin. I don't really want to do that, though. Great, so we're not now going to get to choose her marriage. I hate this game sometimes with its stupid decisions. Can we invite her to court? Not willing. What about if we send her a gift? Because she doesn't seem to have a great opinion of us. No, we can't invite her to court, so we're not going to get to choose now who she marries unless we arrange a marriage between her and someone in our court. But I don't really want to marry her to another one of her cousins because, yeah, we've got enough inbred Sevenstars as it is. So that's... Unless we betroth... We could betroth her. We might better betroth her to somebody in our court. No, not us. That's weird. We have the weird Malister guy, but he's slow. No, we've got no one anywhere near her age, unfortunately. She's 16, isn't she? So, great. We're not going to get to choose what happens there because Lord Belmore decided he doesn't want to get married. Battle of Oakenshield, a great victory at the wall again for the Sevenstar host. Puts us at 44%. This war's going to be a... I expected us to win, but I didn't expect it to be this easy. I thought it might be a little bit harder than this. Let's forward things along a little bit quicker, just so we can get this war out of the way. And I just want to get Lister to 15 now. I want to see what his adult picture is going to look like. I think he's going to end up red-headed like the rest of Lyanna's children. That would be interesting, a red-headed Sevenstar. Let's march onto the Shadow Tower and take care of this wildling host. Where is... Okay, there's 32,000 men up there still. Rhonda Pisswater is now known as the Hunter. I wonder how her invasion is going. She, of course, was going to invade some lands of Pentos, which is ambitious, to say the least, considering it's all Valyrian ruled. So it will be interesting to see what the hell happens over there. We should be able to crush this. Should be no problem at all. I wonder what people we will have in the realm that we can marry Lister to. We are going to have a look into that at some point, as I say, once he turns 16 and his regency ends. It'll be interesting to make our first council as well. We haven't managed to lose a few men now, but we are still slaughtering this wildling host, even though they've got a huge defence bonus from those mountains. Lord Harrion of the Farthest Fields has revoked the Lordship of Goldgrass from Lucas of Goldgrass. Okay. Interesting. Taking a bit of land for himself, maybe for some extra income. At least he's not gotten rid of any of the custom characters, because that would be annoying. At least it's a completely random house. Right, I don't really want to march beyond the wall if we don't have to. We could split our force in half, why not? Let's send these 9,000 led by John Hornbreaker, Kristen Creed, and Byam Firehand. Let's send them to Forktop to get that under siege, and then the other 9,000 Let's march on to Whitetree and get that under siege. We're probably going to suffer a massive attrition disadvantages. If so, we will march back home a little bit just to be on the safe side. We don't want to get thousands and thousands of men slaughtered, do we? By venturing off into beyond the wall. Still 14 years of age. Just waiting for that picture to change. I wonder how our education is going. We've not had many events. Have any of more of our traits... Oh, we've picked up the erudite trait. Did we have that already? I don't think we did. I can't remember. We've still got the brooding trait and the willful trait, so we don't know what they're going to develop into yet. It'll be interesting to see. Split these on. Yeah, we are still suffering a huge attrition disadvantage, unfortunately. But once we get Whitetree and Forktop under siege, hopefully that will change slightly. Now I've got to look out for that huge wildling host. One child is lacking in educational focus. Princess Alice of Andalia. Well, let's have a look at you. You're very good in stewardship. Haughty. Okay, yep. Some of that stuff does add for stewardship, so we'll go for a stewardship education for you. Your guardian at the minute is Pia, so we're now going to obviously want to change that. And your guardian can be... No, not Danie's Corbury. Let's go to Benfrey Highhand, why not? And you're betrothed to... Yeah, that was it. Pyron Seymour, who is one of the king's friends. The king has many, many friends in court. Better friends than, obviously, Janice Slint has in court. I think we'll go for our mid-POV now, though, guys, while we wait for our men to march into position. So I hope that you enjoy. Corruption. Corruption seems to make its way back into the council, no matter how good our intentions. Benfrey has purged the court, but corruption is a shadow that can weave its way into any man who gives it the chance, however slight. It hangs like a constant shroud over the proceedings, and it strains my dear brother. He does his best to keep Lord Danes in check, but the conniving lord seems to have sunk his far-reaching influence into his new council, yet again. It is the only logical explanation for his latest affront to justice, the affront being Danes claiming Eastwold for the third time, twice before my sweet sister Lyanna managed to keep him from achieving his goal, which one must now think is to lay claim to all of the Vale. Danes Corbury, a man of low cunning and brilliant abilities, his ego and ambition grow larger than the mountains of the Vale themselves. Alas, I pray that when the time comes for our Lister to take the helm, he will check his power and quickly, or soon I fear we shall be in open conflict with him. Once this regency is at an end and the realm's reins be firmly in Lister's hand, only then, with the guidance of Benfrey and I, shall we begin to put right the many wrongs that have plagued the land. Seven hells, the Vale gives us more grief than the Iron Islands. One does begin to think whether it would be easier to govern if the land's populated by the savage hill tribes that live deep in the mountains that encompass the Vale, rather than these scheming noble lords. Another bloody Vale mess is Princess Rennie's failed betrothal. We don't know all the details why yet. Unfortunately, the young man, Eldrick Belmore, heir to the lordship of Strongsong, is refusing to marry her. I feel horrible for her. Rennie is a kind, caring young woman, and any man would have been lucky to have her, never mind she's the king's own sister. No one understands this. Is it a willful young man in love with a peasant girl? Maybe he just isn't a fan of the fair sex, possibly. Or is it a political play? Although I must admit, I'm glad that if the betrothal was to be broken, it came from the Belmore's end, and not our own. The Lady Belmore has gathered quite a reputation for retaliation and slights against her house, real or imagined. It's not for nothing she's known as Lady Helena the Vengeful. It would not have done for Lister's reign to begin with a feud between our houses. Speaking of Lister, he is moulding into a fine young man. Benfrey Lancer came to me and my brother in Benfrey Solar to inform us that his skill with sword and lance is improving at a steady rate. Since taking over from Peer as Master-at-Arms, a decision our obstinate sister didn't take kindly, Lord Lancer has been a great mentor to Lister. He seems to respect Benfrey Lancer more than he did my sister, and I wonder was it the familiarity of family that held him back with her. He pushes himself drilling in the yard. When I asked him why, he looked at me and in a very serious tone said, "Uncle, I live in a world of vultures that circle me even now, both in my realm and outside of it. If I give them a chance, they will descend and tear Andalia apart. But if they see that my arm is strong and my sword sharp, perhaps it will dissuade them, for their own sakes. He's proven himself to be quite a learned man in our private lessons, asking questions of the world and reading tomes of the Andal heroes, not to idolise them as he once did, but to learn from their successes and failures. Not only that, but he seems to have made many a friend from the lordlings that have been brought and fostered in the capital. He has gathered around himself a group reminiscent of the group of friends King Ambrose was said to have when he was a boy. There's the Malester boy, Lucius. Slow, yes, but he shows blind loyalty to Lister, and a man who can't be bought will be a great help in the future for the young king. Although, not in the matters of intellect, the boy doesn't know his numbers from his letters, but he's Lister's oldest friend, someone he can confide in completely. Also, the boy of Willowwood, Pyron Seymour, the eventual lord of the bustling trade city on the Trident, and the king's future brother-in-law. The lad shows some promise, takes after his father it would seem, and thankfully not his grandfather, the unready lord. The man's a dolt. Then there's Murribold Rack called Prongs within the group, a boy who is too smart for his own good, a quick mind and an even quicker tongue. That boy is trouble. The grandson of the late lord of the same name who met a gruesome end at the hand of the recently departed Lady Cass, who passed after her foolish attempt at a coup, if one could even call it that. She arrived with a growl but left this world with a whimper. Then Gynair Harlaw, an Ironborn companion, much to the annoyance of the court. They still see the Iron Men as savages, but I have seen the world. I've seen true horror, and Gynair Harlaw a rowdy boy, yes, but there are far worse than Gynair out there, and he instills strength into his friend Lister. Not one to bow and beg forgiveness, he tells harsh truths, and in a world of actors he is a valuable friend. His careless nature extends to Lister as well. He doesn't call him your grace or even Lister, he refers to him as King Moodswing, referring to Lister's habit to brood over all matters, one of many nicknames the boys have for each other. Finally, there is Darnold Crownless, called Brains as opposed to his friend Lucius Brawn, the grandson of that brave and true knight Sir Darnold the Defier, who most famously bested my sister's Kyra's army at Oldstones against insurmountable odds. His grandson is no less promising. I would go so far as to call him a genius. He will give sage and wise advice to our king for years to come. I have great expectations for this boy of House Crownless. Together, these 5 boys create the Conclave as I have coined them. I call them so as I have a funny feeling this group will have a greater impact on the running of the realm than they know themselves. They run amok the court, but they are at that age where they can often be found drinking Arbor Gold until deep into the night. Another one of their pastimes, it seems, is kissing the prettiest maidens in the court, or at least trying their best to. All but Pyron or Lady Seymour, or even the maiden as his friends call him, who seems to spend all of his time with his intended. He's utterly besotted with my niece Alice. Lister is a good king, but he is still young. Let him have his fun. Soon he shall be the most powerful man in Andalia, and have the weight of the realm on his shoulders. But that's not to say he sits idly by as his kingdom is run. He sits into council meetings, listening and learning. Benfrey is the power at the moment, but people come far and wide to meet the young king. In one such occasion, a red priestess from across the narrow sea came to Sevensport, and in front of the whole court in the throne room declared Lister to be born amidst salt and smoke. He is the Lord's chosen, Azor Ahai reborn. Lister received this news, sat upon his throne with Benfrey sat in the hand seat beneath him. The two exchanged looks and Lister spoke. I have read of your fire god, my lady, and while I do not follow them, I've heard whispers of their miracles or perhaps tricks that you play. I was born in the light of the Seven, and while I respect your beliefs, I will not forsake the religion of my forefathers, if that is what you ask of me. Which is when Benfrey interjected. Born amidst salt and smoke, do you intend to cook my own dear nephew? To the court's amusement, but not to Lister's, he respects cultures and religions. He jumped in and said, Forgive my uncle, he speaks of matters he knows not. You humble me with this statement, but I'm afraid I cannot accept it. You have my hospitality, but I will not forsake my gods. An erudite boy, we often talk of the mysteries of the world and my travels, but I do not share all with him. I've seen things performed by that fire god that I'd rather not state here. If that makes me less diligent than the likes of Maester Mohor, King Ambrose's maester, who from his notes that I've found shared every scrap of information he knew of his king, then so be it. But I shall not repeat what I saw, and mayhaps there are more than 7 gods. Perhaps we are all wrong, but R'hllor is not one to be trifled with. I will tell the young king only what he needs to know on this subject. A few moons ago I was awoken by bells ringing. Bells in Sevensport can mean one of 4 things. Peace, war, a dead king or queen, or even worse, a wedding. A black brother of the Night's Watch named Otho arrived and asked for Andalia's assistance in the war against the king beyond the wall, and with no authority to decree this, Lister sat upon his throne and answered, "And Andalia shall answer, call the banners." Benfrey and I both nodded to our king's resolve. The boy is moulding to become a king, and a great one at that. According to the Black Brother, the king beyond the wall has raised a giant host, possibly to the size of 100,000 wildlings. Benfrey was instant in his decision. Andalia raised a mighty force of 27,000 from the lands closest. Donald Crownless, grandfather of Lister's friend, Pia Sweetblood, my dear sister, and Benjicott Sevenstar, my cousin, were chosen to lead this army north. We have so far heard tell that they have relieved the siege in both the Shadow Tower and the Night Fort, winning great victories against the wildling masses each time. Just today we received the latest report by Raven from our men in the field, which say that the Andalian forces have split into two and have gone north of the wall into that untamed landscape. Although I have never been north of the wall, not properly anyway, I don't see these wildlings as anything but people. What crime have they committed? What charge do we have on them? The only crime they seem to have committed is that their ancestors were on the wrong side of the wall when it was erected. Where were mine? Across the sea. That doesn't make me a savage, as it doesn't make them so. We are all savages in the eyes of the elite, bastard or wildling alike, but strip away the finery and you'll find us all not so different.
Okay, and we're back, and as our troops have ransacked the castle of Forkhold, they uncovered an interesting relic that Marl had hidden away, a weirwood spear. Interesting, wonderful news. Your Grace, I'm pleased to report the successful siege of Forkhold. High Chief Raymond Varrowolf could not be found, however. Yours humbly, Sir John. Good work. Send them to my dungeon. Put them all in house arrest for now. So we've got a load of wildlings in house arrest, which is interesting. Eldraine Royce was born stillborn. You had the attractive trait. Oh, and that's the daughter of Princess Kyra, our sister. So that's a shame. Wow, she's 20 now, Kyra. Wow. She is getting old quick. Let's attempt another assault on Forktop. Get that completely under our control. Should we march onto these 10,000 men in the fist of the first men? Why not? And we'll march these 8,000 on as well. Let's end this wildling threat. These are people I grow up with. I feel we bonded over the years. Okay. Moribald Rack, Lucius Maris, Lalistar, Sir Donald. Oh my God, Sir Donald Crownless. He's a sir already. And Prince Enger, our brother. Okay, so we've become good friends of our brother and our sister. Sir Donald, how has he been knighted already? He's 14, betrothed to a Malister. He's only a poor fighter as well. And he's a lunatic, apparently, which is a shame, considering that he's a genius. It's a shame that he's picked up the lunatic trait, but okay, why not? So, Arnold Royce is now known as the Evil. Nice. So we've married our sister off. And the person that we married her off to is now evil, apparently. He's got no traits. Oh, no, he has got cruel. He's got cruel. Fair enough. So we have another evil character. One to replace Enger the Evil, of course, who, when we was playing as Enger II, we married our sister to. So it seems that as a monarch, we like to marry our sisters to psychos, apparently. Which is a shame. So, right, we've got 19,000 men here, so I'm guessing the Stark army is marching with us towards the Fist of the First Men, where we can try and end this wildling war. We've literally crushed the wildlings. Hopefully this will deter them for a couple of 100 years. Obviously they tried not long ago, but last time they tried, they actually did make the wall fall, and they did get quite far. They got past the last half until Andalia halted their progression. We are losing this battle though, because there's 24,000 wildlings. Benfrey Highstar is now known as the Bear. Interesting. Oh wow, and he's now got 41 martial. Nice name, the Bear. His son, Sir Otho Lancer, is... wow, he's coming along very nicely as well. It's still very annoying that he married himself to a slow Ironborn, though. Interesting nickname. Are the rest of these armies... is the rest of our reinforcements going to get here, or what? Because we really need them... there we go, they've arrived at the Fist of the First Men. Is it going to be enough to win this battle and turn it in our favour? Hopefully. None of our commanders have retreated yet, and several of theirs have. Yes, it looks like the reinforcements are enough to sway this in our favour. Your uncle, Sir Benjicott Sevenstar, has died, and now it falls to you to decide whether to make the funeral a big and special event or just keep it a small private one. At the age of 37, your uncle, Benjicott Sevenstar, was killed in personal combat in the midst of the battle by Beric Grandblade. Okay, so he was killed by a wildling, a skilled fighting wildling. Okay. Interesting, at least. Okay, he'll be honoured with a funeral. Who will you invite? Just the Sevenstar family. News from the Battle of the Fist of the First Men, your grace. Your uncle, Sir Benjamin Sevenstar, has been slain. He was killed in direct single combat by the enemy commander, Beric Grandblade. Interesting name. But we are going to sway this in our favour, I think. The Stark army was originally with us, but not anymore. Chosen by Relor, the two gods are locked in an eternal struggle over the fate of the world. A struggle that, according to the ancient prophecy from the Books of Ashai, will only end when Azor Ahai, the messianic figure, will return wielding a flaming sword called Lightbringer. The red sword of heroes and raised dragons from stone. The red priest says that I am Azor Ahai, reborn, worthy to wield Lightbringer and drive the darkness from the world. I'm not bothered. Okay, so apparently King Lister is Azor Ahai. Interesting. Your prisoner, Lyra Mansword, has requested an audience with you. Upon meeting her before the court, she is offering to pay you a ransom. I accept. Wow, 110 gold. Where did the wildling get that sort of money from? They must have been raiding, but yeah, we'll take 110 gold. Thank you very much, my dear. And obviously we need a new sworn shield and a new commander for Andalia now that we've lost our uncle Benjicott. The invitations have been sent to the lords and ladies of the realm to come to the funeral. It's time to prepare for the feast. Okay, let's do that. And battle in the victory of the Battle of the Fist of the First Men. Awesome. Wow, the Fist of the First Men has a lot of defenders. We will spend enough to satisfy everyone's hunger. We won't go mad. We don't want to get fat. Where should we march on to? Stark army is in the north. Your grace, I believe High Chiefess Amara of Fen has been in your custody for too long. How much are you willing to pay? 46 gold? Yeah, I accept that offer. Where are the wildlings are rolling in dough, it would seem. It's only a fort level 2 though, so once we can assault, it's going to be pretty easy to assault. So we'll just grind it down. Or should we take more of the... Let's march on to the Night Valleys. It might be easier to get under our control. We do need, though, a new commander. Let's have a look who we've got as an option. Nana Harlaw, Danes Corbury, Harrion... Yes, Harrion Firehand, definitely. And we had another position that needed filling, wasn't it? We needed a... Why have we not got a court jester anymore? Or a court dwarf? What's happened to Kristen? Where's he gone? We need a new bodyguard. Let's have a look. We've not got many. We could go for our cousin Engar, but I think he's our rival, isn't he? No, he's not our rival. It must be a different cousin that's our rival. Yep, we'll go with Sir Engar, our cousin then. He's a knight. It's always good to have a family member close by our side. He's not high enough in the rankings either to maybe want to try and kill us or plot. He's way down in the line of succession, so I can't see anything like that happening. Let's march on to the Night Valleys, get it under siege. Your Grace, I believe Cicely of Skirling Pass has been in your custody for too long now. Yes, I accept. Send us some lovely gold. At age 32, your subject, Robar Wainwood, died under suspicious circumstances. A lot of Danes Corbury's vassals seem to die under suspicious circumstances, which is interesting, to say the least. Lord Offa Pike has declared Lord Offa's claim on Hammerhorn, war on Lord Dunstan of Great Wick. All the guests have arrived for the feast. How is Danes Corbury doing in his war? Let's have a look. He is 10% in favour of Lord Hunter, which is interesting. I'm guessing they've not met in direct combat just yet. Where's the main wildling army now? 30. They've still got 30-odd thousand men up north. 16 there and 18 there. 11,000 of our own may not be enough. But if we get these under siege, that should go in our favour. The funeral. As the Silent Sisters finish the preparations of the deceased, the body of Sir Benjicott is brought to the local sept and laid atop the altar at its centre. Canopic jars of ornate design are placed at the feet of the dead, and the eldest child places the death stones upon the closed eyes of the deceased. One by one, those closest to the departed in life make their way into the sept and speak their goodbyes, shed their mournful tears, and pray to the seven for the dead. As the day dwindles down and the last goodbye is said, the body is carried by kin along the crown-lined streets to its final resting place. As the sun fades away, a great feast is held, and those who knew the dead recount stories in the lives of deeds of the lost. And so it is done. Let's assault this and get this under our control. Assault the next province. Yeah, we'll just get all these under our control. Let's... Your Septon Wayne of the Crossfort reports that Master Wilbert is happy with our charity, which is good. Siege of Night's Watch. Where's Night's Watch? Is that somewhere else? No idea. Skite Saltworm died of poor health at the age of 42, but he does have a son, a Ragnar, so at least his family does carry on there. Let's march on to the Haunted Forest then and get that under siege next. Starks have marched back to the Fist of the First Men. We're at 65% now in this war, so we should be able to win this pretty easy. We've crushed most of the wilding host. We've lost a lot of men because of the snow and the poor conditions up here. More charity work going well, which is good. Fiona Firehand died a natural death. She is married to Colin Crownless. Wow, she's a hell of a lot older than him, which is interesting. Come on, Lister, when are you going to turn 15? I want our adult picture. Let's forward finger on and get this under siege. Shouldn't take too long. We should be able to assault it straight away, yes, and then we'll march on to Hardhome and get that under control as well. We could march on to the capital. It's a long way away. We'd lose a lot of men by marching there, I'd imagine. And let's assault this next province. There we go, perfect. 69% now. Let's march on to Hardhome next. Could bring our ships round. 35,000 men there. Are we going to need to march ourselves over there to help out? Are they marching? No, they're marching to Night Valleys. So no, we'll continue to march on to Hardhome then and get that under siege and under control. How's things going down south? How is Danes doing? Ah, he's got one area under siege. Some random guy called Ulf has died. No idea who he is. I don't know why he keeps telling us about these completely random people and the fact that they're dying. Maynard Greystark has had justice and injustice in the north added to their treasury. Interesting. We've nearly arrived in Hardhome. Is there another war against the Night's Watch? Because there's this random army that's there. Another wildling army. Let's get Hardhome under siege then, which should be very easy to do. And one more. Let's bring the 7-star fleet up to Hardhome, actually. I was about to march my men off into sea. I'm playing too much CK3. Helena Firehand, another Firehand, has died at the age of 45. Let's get the fleet round here so that we can set sail to the capital. We'll set sail up to the north to take care of the capital and get that under siege. Lord Danes the Wise accepted Lord Ellis of Longbarrow's peace offer. Does that mean that he lost his war? Lord Danes the Wise... Oh no, he's used the title High Lordship of Eastwold from Lord Ellis of Longbow Hall. My god, that's another High Lordship now to add to his long list of High Lordships. There we go, Hardhome completely under our control now. Siege of Nighthold a defeat. Do you know what? Let's march back and take care of that army. And we'll bring the fleet round to there instead. At least then we can destroy some... Oh, we're not going to be able to do that actually. Where is our fleet? It's making its way up to Skagos. Sail off to the coast instead. At the age of 68, your acquaintance Lord Ben of Hammerhall died a natural death. Okay. At the age of 27, your subject Amain Brightstone died of poor health. Everyone's dying of poor health, and Lister has come of age. And it looks to me like he actually might have the blonde hair of House Sevenstar. Let's change his crown so that we can see his hair a little bit better. Crown of Andalia. Oh no, we are actually using the Crown of Andalia. Let's go for the Crown of the Stars then. Let's equip that and see if we can see his hair better. No. What about Crown of Pearls? If we put that one on, oh my god, his hair is atrocious. Let's sort that out. We can't go to the barber at present, apparently. Do we have to wait till he's 16 maybe? But we do have blonde hair, which is interesting. He looks quite scary, to be fair. We've only got 40,000 troops as well at present, which isn't good. Let's march back to the Night Valleys, though, and take care of this. Get that back under siege. Okay, so we managed to get that back under siege. We've got our men on our ships. Let's sail up north to the Shivering Forest, and let's try and get the Wildling capital under siege to try and end this war. Lord Danes the Wise used a favour on Lady Alysain the Rash to force them to join all of his factions. I wonder what his newest faction is. Lord John Seymour wants independence, apparently. Joe Iraq is in the Crown Loyalist, which doesn't have many other members at present. And he's still going for the elective succession in Mountain in Vale. Lord Hugh of Runestone has joined that, and Lady Alysain the Rash has also joined that, which is interesting. He's now ransoming many prisoners. Let's dock our army into the Shivering Forest then, so that we can go for the capital of the Wildling host. We've not got a lot of men up here now. We may need to call up some more, to be honest. Let's call up what men that we do have. Let's get all of these here to meet up in Heartsholme. Call up the fleet of Heartsholme. Let's call up the fleet of Runestone as well, and the fleet there. Let's get you guys to embark there. Let's get you to sail around. We are going to probably need a few more men by the looks of it to end this war. Let's get the sister men as well onto their ships. If you can both dock onto your ships, please. These two armies here will disband. They're too small, and it's going to take too long for them to get to where we need them. We'll disband you as well. And you. All the Riverland army, yep, send to Heartsholme, and we'll disband all of the Iron Isle armies, because they're just going to take too long. We'll disband this one as well. It's not worth it. Just in case we need all of those. At least then we can bring them north. And the Bear Island army of 92 men, we're not going to need, I'm afraid. So, let's march on to Freevale and get that under siege, which is the capital. Hopefully that will give us some valuable prisoners, just so we can hopefully manage to end this war. Rogner Blacktide died a stillborn, which is sad. Not nice to see. Never nice. Betrothed can marry Sir Darnold Crownless and his Malister bride. Yes, we'll marry them off. I know. Oh, he's come of age now. Looks very interesting. A lot of people have come of age, actually. We'll be able to look through all of those soon, hopefully. Maybe at the beginning of the next episode. Peace be with you. I gladly accept the suggestion. Perfect. Lord Darnold, who's still leading this army at his ripe old age. When can we attempt an assault on this? In a couple of days. It's only a fort level 3, so we should easily be able to assault that. Yes, we have. And your enemy, King More Frostfang, has been captured by Lord Darnold of the Northlands and taken to the Northlands as a prisoner, which will end the war. Perfect. Absolutely beautiful. That is the war over with then. Can we march our army back to the ship, please? We're going to have to now disband all of these armies down here that we didn't need, so disband all the troops. If you can all just march to where you was nearly at, so that we can then disband you all. You're nearly at Newkeep. Let's disband these fleets. Disband. Disband the sister fleets. Perfect. 100%. So we just need to wait for the Belvazar to win that war. At the age of 27, your bannerman, Lord Cregan of Volmark, died under suspicion. Another Volmark murdered, which is interesting. Another loyalist Iron Islander. Just need to get our men back home now. But they are going to go into battle first, unless Belvazar hurries up and ends this war. At age 55, your courtier Gunnar died a natural death. No idea who he even is, if I'm perfectly honest. Why is Belvazar not ending this war? So 100% Belvazar. Why is the AI so stupid sometimes? He could end this war right here, right now. Our 5,000 men seem to have held off the 15,000 wildlings anyway. Darnold Crownless strikes again. Good job, Darnold. Belvazar Bolton has had splint mail armour added to his treasury. Yes, I just wanted him to end his war. These past few weeks, Lord Benfrey has been drilling me in the use of sword and lance. The instruction has been hard and stern, but my prowess has increased. He's a fine teacher. We are now a skilled fighter. Awesome. That's nice. Really nice. There we go, we're back on the ships. And Lord Moore's Widowmaker accepted. Lord Commander Belvazar the Brilliant. Peace offer. The King Moore's invasion of the Night's Watch has ended. Lord Commander Belvazar of the Night's Watch has won. Perfect. Let's bring our men back home then. We'll just dock into Greyhole because it's the easiest place for us to dock into. Still waiting for us to turn 16 so we can get rid of this awful haircut. Your Grace, my mission to Rushmore has so far been a success. During my visit to the court of Lady Alysain Redwolf Seaguard, I seem to have managed to make her understand what a benevolent and peaceful ruler you really are. She sends her regards. Your humble Master of Lords, Lord Vardis Grafton. Perfect. Perfect, Lord Vardis. And we've got a dangerous faction, which is... which one? Oh, of course it's Danes Corporis. Interesting. Very interesting, Danes. I see how it is. I think we will end this episode here then, guys, for now. So thank you all so much for watching. As always, I do hope that you've enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and comment down below. And hopefully I'll see you all very soon for the next episode of the Knights of Andalia.
The war may have ended and the wall saved, but the final trial of Belvazar Bolton would be the hardest he ever faced. He would be against his own past, against memories coming back to test and haunt him once more. The tunnel opened in front of him, the half circle of light growing bigger as he approached. He was at the head of a small battered force of Black Brothers, his Black Brothers. He knew what was expected of him. Who would be waiting in the courtyard to greet him, congratulate him? The new young Queen of the North and the Regent of Andalia, Benfrey Snow. He braced himself in preparation for the next few moments. The cheers erupted the moment he left the mouth of the passage. His men, the men he left behind on the wall, and the northern men shouting and stamping the ground, calling his name and his monarchy the Brilliant. The Andalian men, of course, didn't shout his name, but instead cheered the men of the watch, or the brave men on the wall. Standing like an island in the ocean of noise was Benfrey Snow. He had what looked like a genuine smile on his face, and was clapping politely, like if you drew a happy face on the axeman's hood. He drew near first. "Lord Commander, your deeds are great, and they shall be known across the land. The realms of men are indebted to the brave men of the watch." Belvazar's eyes flashed. Was that an insult? "My thanks, Lord Regent, and of course your help was appreciated as well. I hear your cousin Benjacott fought nobly before his death. My condolences to you." Benfrey inclined his head and stepped back, allowing a young man Belvazar didn't recognise to step forward. He had blonde hair and blue eyes like himself. The resemblance was off-putting. "Lord Commander, please accept my congratulations also. My name is King Lister Sevenstar. I have read of yours and your father's deeds. My condolences to you on his loss, and I am honoured to meet you in person." The boy, King Lister, offered his hand to shake. Belvazar realised that he was the son of that bitch Lyanna. Should he refuse to shake his hand? It would mean that he recognised Lister as a king after fighting so many years to dispose of the Sevenstars. He was trapped. Benfrey and Lister had him wrapped around their fingers. Publicly, he was indebted to Lister for answering the call, but what choice did he have anyway? Refusing would put the watch to shame. Belvazar slowly shook the hand of the son of the woman who sent him to the wall, the woman who stripped House Bolton of almost all of their lands and titles. "Furthermore, we know that you lost many men in this war, and we would like to help you replace them. I brought with me a contingent of men who, for reasons differing from man to man, would like to join the watch. You and your father were inspiring men, and your deeds at the wall travel far and wide. Thank you for your service, Lord Commander Bolton." The Queen in the North stepped forward and said much the same, but Belvazar's mind was racing. However, his thoughts were interrupted by another loud cheer as two men entered the courtyard. Darnold Crownless was dragging the king beyond the wall in chains. He knelt in front of Lister and gave him his prisoner. "Your Grace, I have captured the wildling king." Lister congratulated Sir Darnold, but told him he should deliver the prisoner to Lord Bolton, showing a hint of respect towards his mother's former foe. Darnold brought the captive to the Lord Commander, and the former allies crossed eyes for a brief instant. The last time they met was after the War of the Stars. How the times had changed. One was Lord Commander, the other a renowned general. But Belvazar quickly diverted the silent discussion towards the wildling, who spat at his feet. The savage looked at him with disgust and hatred for the crows. Belvazar looked at him with glee. Oh yes, he will pay. They will all pay. Many of his brothers died, but revenge was finally theirs. "Father, what would you think of me now?" he thought. "Would you be pleased by my actions? Or command me to cut down the bastard and his nephew?" To the side of the courtyard where several watchmen stood looking on at the scene was another person Belvazar knew must be sharing the same inner pain. Harbert Redstone, another of the great bastards, and Benfrey's half-brother. What would he think now? Would he too wish to take his revenge, or to welcome his brother as a friend? But something unexpected then happened. Someone that Belvazar had been longing to see for nigh on 30 years came pushing out of the crowd, and walked straight towards him. Her steps gaining pace before they broke into a run. The only thing he heard before the stranger hugged him was the word, "Father." For a moment he was confused. What? Father? Who? But then he remembered. His daughter. Jessane was there. "Why are you here, my sweet?" She replied in a half-excited tone with a bright smile on her face. "I came to see you, father. They said you took down 100 wildlings by yourself, and I've missed you terribly ever since you left." He hugged his daughter tightly. She was the main reason he'd decided to protect the wall. She was his own blood, his own flesh, the only thing tying him to the south. For a time, nothing else mattered to Belvazar but his daughter. However, this moment he dreamed of for so many years was interrupted by a slow clapping, quickly continued by all the men around them. He stopped hugging his daughter, who now stood beside him. They looked around together. Belvazar was confused. Then he noticed the man who had started the applause. Benfrey Snow was looking at him, but with a different smile. "I am a father as well, Lord Bolton. I know far too well the longing for family." "What do you mean, Lord Benfrey?" Benfrey smiled, and in a stroke of political genius spoke again. Your daughter is very precious to you. That I can understand. Aren't we the same, you and I? You fight to protect your own blood, like I do myself, he said as he looked towards his nephew Lister, who watched calmly. It was then that the Lord Commander realised. What Benfrey meant was that he fought to protect Andalia, just like him, and that he fought to protect his loved ones who lived in Andalia. That meant that he, Belvazar Bolton, was wrong the entire time. He thought that he was merely protecting his daughter, not caring whatsoever for Andalia. But no, for Andalia was his daughter's home and something he had to protect as well. He took a deep breath. Titus Erenstar was dead, killed at Sevensport. His father's hatred for the Sevenstars brought his demise against the wildlings. Lyanna's weak rule was punished when she was sent to their seven. He clutched his daughter's hand tightly as she smiled at him. He looked at Lister Sevenstar and said in a calm and proud tone, "The Watch will always be happy to have Andalians support your grace. I will ensure that your actions in this war will be remembered at Castle Black. I trust it will be the same at Sevensport." Lister nodded and once again extended his hand to Belvazar. "I will ask my maester to write chronicles about the war. In the name of all Andalia, Lord Commander, I congratulate and thank you once more. I look forward to our future cooperation." This time, Belvazar warmly shook the king's hand. He was no longer the disposed Lord Bolton or a vengeful traitor. He was the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, a proud and ancient order. He was the sword in the darkness, the watcher on the walls, the shield that guards the realms of men. He finally understood what his oath and the cloak on his back truly meant. Not tools to hide oneself, but an opportunity to be redeemed and to find a new path. And it was that path that Belvazar had took. Thanks to the new cloak he was given, he was able to find a new life, a better life at the wall.